This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors.
Good morning, gamers. What is going on? It is Wednesday, and of course, you know what that means. It means epic stuff patch note time, and strap in, grab yourself some popcorn, because this is going to be this is going to be a long one, because there's so much stuff, and it's, yeah. But anyways, let's just hop into it. As you can see right here, this is part one of like 5-6 things, and what's going to get put out right now, Roaming Warrior Leo. Now, we've already talked a little bit about Roaming Warrior Leo in the past, but he's going to be hitting up the Moonlight summon. Is going to be sharing the banner with Judge Kisei. So if you're looking for Judge Kisei, you don't want to trade in for Judge Kisei, you want to try to roll for her and then trade in for something else, well, you can also pick up Roaming Leo. So Roaming Leo is going to be in here. Let's talk a little bit about him. Roaming Leo is a dark elemental ranger who is capable of planting a bomb on his enemies. Fire Slingshot can decrease the enemy's attack and inflict increased damage against the debuffed enemy. With Fire Shock Bomb, he can increase the enemy's skill cooldown, making them unable to use skills with that dispel debuffs. Goraku attacks all enemies, inflicting the Bomb debuff. Bomb is a powerful debuff that can inflict huge damage while also stunning the target at the end of the debuff duration. So that's going to be a pretty interesting kit right here. I was interested to see what Bomb was going to do, things like that, but Fire Slingshot is going to attack with a slingshot with a 35% chance to decrease attack for 2 turns. Damage dealt is increased when the enemy is debuffed, and because there's a lot of debuffs going on in the meta, this is going to be definitely nice. It's going to have an increased amount of damage on that one. So Fire Shock Bomb fires a shock bomb at the enemy with an 80% chance to increase skill cooldown by 1, which is going to be really good, especially if you get him real quick and you need somebody to like get locked down, say like Rule of Light or Crimson Armand, something along those lines. It is on a 3-turn cooldown as well, which is pretty quick, so that is pretty nice. You can increase the effect chance and the damage that you get off of that one. And then Goraku, his S3, attacks all enemies with Raku with a 75% chance to plant a bomb for 2 turns. Now, this can get increased by 15%, so you'll have a, 90%? Yeah, 90%. It's early on Wednesday, but, math. I can do math for the most part. You will have a 90% chance to put that on there. So the bomb, it doesn't actually say, I did say up here, the bomb is a powerful debuff that can inflict huge damage while also stunning the target at the end of the debuff duration. I do wish that they would tell you exactly what it did down here, but, yeah. So, there you go. The enemy's cooldown, making them unable to use skills to to dispel debuffs. Okay, so basically, you can hit them with your S3, soul burn, get the extra turn, and then slap the Fire Shock Bomb on them. That will increase their cooldown so that they can't dispel the bomb. So that's pretty solid. And right here is one that I actually called. I was like, hey, you know what? Yufine's getting a bunch of buffs this time around. So they're probably going to drop a Yufine banner, because let's be real, that right there, that blushing face is going to just steal all of your bookmarks. All of them. So we are getting the Rhaegar's Chaotic Full Moon Festival, because we already saw that last time around. Now, I was wondering if we were going to get, like if we're going to get a new banner. I was almost hoping that we would get a Yuna banner, because, well, there's not really too many ways to get Yuna other than connections, which is literally the only way to get Yuna. So, I really need to do these like later in the day on Wednesdays, so that I'm not just like, oh man, I just woke up, right? But anyways, so this is going to be the side story. You're going to have Yuna, Karen, Zerto, Tenebria are going to be the main heroes that are going to come out of this. And if you do look, actually, you will be able to get another copy of Yuna out of this, as well as the Yuna artifact. So that's going to be really big. So we'll actually be able to imprint Yuna. We'll actually be able to get her artifact in the game out of this side shop. So that's going to be, or out of the side story. So that's going to be pretty awesome. We're actually going to have 3 weeks of this too. So this is going to be a really, really big side story. You're going to have festival prep, you're going to have the festival, and then you're going to have the chaotic after party. So yeah, and wow, okay. So that's going to be pretty solid. Yufine banner is going to be here. Let's see. You're also going to have Judith Azelle, Ricarus, Captain Ricarus, obviously Hazel and Mascot Hazel. Carrot, Oxlots, and Fighter Maya are also going to have a 30% increase in this node as well. So you'll get to play, if you have Yuna, you'll get to play around with the new buffs that she's going to be getting as well. So let's see, you're going to get your typical side story stuff, stage difficulties, special stages, kind of like we had with the summer event. Let's see. We're gonna have is Kikarat coming back? Oh, fantastic! I never finished out my Kikarat. Let's see here. Hero cannot be used to enhance or promote other heroes. So if you don't have Kikarat and you want him for the collection purposes, there you go. Lock stages, typical. Your limited daily stage, let's see, limited daily stage, so you can do this once a day in here. Chapter 1, D1 Bizarre Woods is a stage which has a restriction on the number of entries daily. Players can receive an increased amount of event currency here and can only enter the stage 5 times per day. That's actually kind of cool. So this means that they're like streamlining it to make the grind a little less brutal for those of you who don't have copious amounts of time to just play the entire day, because that's just a thing that some of us do too much. So you will have the stage missions. We're gonna have rewards for the quests. We're gonna get a Molagorigo, which is gonna be really nice, really nice. Mega Phantasmas, seeing those in there. Those are just the quest rewards. Reputation wise, we're gonna be getting quite a bit of stuff here too. We're going to get exclusive Yuna equipment here, the small drone tuna. That's going to be sweet. And gold transmit stones out of that as well. That is pretty solid. So the small drone tuna, tuna is a drone made by Yuna. Yuna's drone is tuna. Okay. No matter where she goes on Earth or on Urbis, tuna is there to protect her. So you can get one of 3 things here: homing laser upgrade or meteor cannon. Homing laser is going to increase combat readiness by 1% per target when using homing laser. Upgrade has a 30% chance each to grant allies increased attack greater for 2 turns when using upgrade. And meteor cannon, damage dealt increases by 30% when using Meteor Cannon. That's pretty huge right there. Just literally, here you go. Here's a 30% damage increase. That's pretty solid. And then let's see, in the exchange shop first week, you're gonna have Rhaegar's Forbidden Text. We're gonna have the 5-star Otherworldly Machinery artifact. Then we're gonna have the 4-star artifact Midnight Bloom out of this. We're also gonna get Blazing Souls, Twisted Fangs, Ultra Fangs, Samoas, and your typical additional shop items. The next ones up are going to be the same. We're also going to get Blazing Souls, Ultra Fangs, Twisted Fangs, and then we're going to get switch between Frost Runes, Flame Runes, and then Life Runes. So it's going to be pretty much all the same. If you're here for Twisted Fangs, let me tell you what, boys. We're going to get so many. Slap's roof of these side stories, we can get so many Twisted Fangs out of this side shop. So let's see. Rhaegar's Forbidden Text increases devotion skill grade of Yuna when used as an enhancement ingredient. Only the 5-star Yuna may use this item. So we're going to be able to get, let's see, what is that? 2, we're gonna be able to get 6 of these, so that you'll be able to triple S Yuna with these. So that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. Otherworldly machinery. I'm excited to finally get this into my journal. This is going to increase the damage of attacks that target all enemies by up to 16%. Now, that's really big, especially if you're hitting up, if you're hitting this on characters that just damage everybody. I can think of quite a few people that that this would work pretty well on. Actually, no, it's Ranger exclusive, so I can see this working very well on Yuna. Now, Midnight Bloom is going to increase critical hit chance of all allies by 8 to 16%. This is not locked to any specific hero. This is insane. A 16% chance for crit means that you have so much more flexibility with your team setup. So if you're running a bunch of different support heroes to support one cleaver, let's say like Judge Kisei or somebody along those lines, you have a lot more flexibility in who or what gear you can run, especially if you're running on, let's say, a character that has a crit chance imprint that can even further allow you to adjust how your damage is distributed, or how your gears are distributed. So that's going to be really, really good. I would make sure to pick that one up for sure. So let's see here. Yuna's special exchange. If a player has completed the connection requirement and received the 5-star hero Yuna, but has used her as material for enhancement, transmission, or promotion, they may, for one time only, exchange 2,500 selenite to receive a 5-star Yuna. I don't know why you would have used her as transmission or promotion, because there was only one of her, and Arena Season 3 has begun. This is going to be pretty sweet. I'm excited for Arena Season 3. Now, this does open on the 9th, which means that we have the rest of the week to play around with all of the buffs and everything like that are coming down the pipes, and get really ready for Season 3. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Season 2 reward distribution will be done at the end of the week. Season 2 Hall of Fame. Now, let's see here. Season ranking progress. Players will receive a ranking during Season Arena 3. Each week, players will be able to earn glory crests and season points. This is typical to Season 2. So not really a big change here too much. Season points every week. Players in the top 1 to 100 of the rankings will receive season points, which will determine their season rankings. After the end of Arena Season 3 and at the start of the new Arena season, players will receive a exclusive frame according to their Season 3 ranking, which for the vast majority of people, this really doesn't matter too much at all, mostly because a lot of us are not in Legend 1 through 100. Arena Story, Instability Within will be released. This story will start automatically upon entering the arena and can be viewed again in the Arena Story tab. Now, this right here is what your boy is ready for. The Arena Season 3 item list. Exclusive Arena Season 3 items that will be added to the Conquest Point shop. Now, this is going to be a speed set, and everybody loves speed sets. However, it's all going to roll into effect resist, and but look at these tanky substats: health, defense, speed, effect resist, health, speed, crit chance, effect resist, speed, crit chance, effect resist, effectiveness. Your axe has health, attack, speed, effect resist, speed, crit, effect resist, health, attack, speed, crit chance. These are really good. The ring is not going to be the best on everybody, but effectiveness is pretty solid. Don't get like for reals. It's going to be good on a lot of people. If you get a lot of these to roll into speed on a speed set, so good. So good. Not only that, but the speed neck is not only speed, but health and effect resist. So if you get, like, say, split a speed and effect resist on that neck, that is going to be beautiful. So there's that. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna have that. They're gonna cost quite a bit here. You're gonna take conquest points for the season 2. So if you didn't get all your season 2 stuff, boom, easy peasy. Hero artifact balance adjustments. So we're gonna talk first. We went over a lot of this, but I think that some of these are a bit different. But let me first get not as sleepy. All right, some time to wake up. Time to wake up for these hero balance adjustments. All right, so Silverblade Araminth, previously, what did they change here? They changed the combat readiness on Flame Release, so they're dropping that by 10%. Not that bad. Meteor Fall is going to inflict 2 burn effects for 2 turns instead of 3, so they're reducing that. So overall, she's not seeing a huge... Oh, and an extra turn. She's not seeing a huge nerf, but she didn't really see that much play in the first place, like, especially the higher you got up in Arena. So the combat readiness by 10%, an extra turn on her S3, as well as dropping down one of those burns. Personally, I am going to be trading her in because I really don't use her very much. She wasn't used that much in PvP, and I didn't really use her too much in PvE either. So Sage Ball... what are they doing? They're taking his Cloud of Ruin. They're adding an extra turn to it. Chance to dispel 1 buff and a 65% chance to put them to sleep. The combat readiness is going to be dropped down to 10%. So they're adding a turn. They're reducing the amount of buffs that he can dispel, and they're reducing the combat readiness. Do I think that that's going to break him? Not particularly. I still think that he's going to be pretty strong regardless of this change. Arbiter Vildred. So, yes, after receiving lethal damage, he had 100% combat readiness, and it increased his attack for 2 turns. He's literally going to be the same. They just took the attack out, which there's some people that are talking about running like Alexa's Basket on him for the chance to get attack, the chance to get greater attack, things like that. And if buffs persist through death, he'll just run like a you could run a Violet's Talisman on him, and then literally just destroy stuff regardless. Arbiter Vildred don't even trade him in because he is pretty solid. Also, let's see, I'm gonna end up reading I want to read this one right here. Smilegate. Why did you even say you wanted to hear players' feedback before these ML 5-star nerfs when you didn't take anything players had to say into account? You haven't adjusted your nerfs at all based on what players have said. The majority of players are in agreement that Silverblade Aramintha's nerfs are too much, and you still nerf both her S3 cooldown and the number of burns. You could have just done one or the other, not both. She will now apply no burns more often than not, and her whole kit depends on these burns. Even her S2 is indirectly nerfed by the S3 nerf, and you still nerf her S2 as well? Just a bad job overall. Your balanced team must not even play PvP, and since MLR is insignificant in PvP with immunity sets, you just destroyed her PvE. Congratulations, you failed as a balanced team and listening to your players' feedback both. Man, the stove, if you guys ever want to see some salty people, just roll into the stove comment section. So good. All right, so what else are we getting here? So update part number 2, Crimson Armand. Now everybody's gonna be like, man, Crimson Armand is just brutally destroyed here. But let's talk about this one. So security state, this decreases the damage received by allies from critical hits by 10% when more than one damage reduction is granted. Yeah, you know what I'm saying here. So this went from 30%. This is going to drop down to 15%. So it did cut it in half, but overall it's still a pretty decent chunk of damage that's taken out. So she's going to not be as overpowered as previously, but she's not going to be as bad as a lot of people originally like doom and gloomed. It's not as bad. I saw the math numbers, really not as bad. Now the S3 is going to be a little rougher, but it's not as bad. They're taking a turn off of the immunity, which, I mean, 3 turns of immunity was already pretty busted. So you're just going to get 2 turns of immunity here, which is still pretty solid. So she's just going to see a little bit of nerfs. I don't think that anybody's going to like just completely cut her out of their life. If you have extras, dupes or something like that, then trade them in. But outside of that, she's still really good. Wally bet, FBI bait right here. So talked previously about the buffs that she's getting, and yeah, these are going to be really solid. So Snip is going to be getting a 50% damage increase. Not only that, but it is going to be increasing the combat readiness of the caster by 50%. And this is on a 3-turn cooldown, which is pretty quick already. So you're going to be doing a lot more damage, and you're going to be getting a 50% combat readiness, like right afterwards, which you'll then move into, you're going to be doing a lot more damage. So Soul Cutter has been changed, and the damage has been increased by 11%, so even more damage increase. This is going to grant Skill Nullifier, negating damage from the next attack. So, yeah, Extinction's going to be good and all, but this at least helps you survive a little bit better with the Skill Nullifier. So it makes her S3 at least usable against characters and teams that don't necessarily have a revive. Plus, they increased the damage on that. So she's going to be doing a lot more damage, and she's going to be sticking around a bit more because of the Skill Nullifier. So, Lidica, this is the one that I am just super excited about because I love Lidica. I'm really excited to see her make a bit more of a resurgence into the game. And so, Thornbush is now going to not only decrease hit chance for 1 turn, but it's going to dispel a buff, which is awesome. And this is AoE. AoE buff removal with a chance to decrease hit. So this is going to be really huge, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown, which just means you're just going to be buff stripping like crazy. Now, Public Execution, and I love her S3, just that face to die for. This is going to be pretty much the same, except it is going to make the character unhealable for 2 turns as well. So not only going to kick them right back to the top, but it's going to make them unhealable. So you could pretty much lock down whoever, and they're not getting healed at all. So between like, if you run like say Dizzy Lidica, you can just start unhealabling people and just pushing them way back. Not only that, but Lidica is going to be just absolutely amazing for Golem as well, giving that unhealable. So yeah, just beautiful buff right there. Basar, effect of Sandwind has been changed. They're adding the ability to for Sandwind to inflict a random debuff for 2 turns, which is going to be pretty solid, especially if you are you're getting double attacks, you're making him quick so that he can fire things off really fast to get these in here. So let's see, effective Hurricane has been changed, and the Soul Burn effect has been removed. So has been removed. Okay. So before, they changed it. They changed it. Okay, before it was skill cooldown is decreased by 2 turns. Now it just ignores effect resistance. So they changed it. It is now going to decrease hit chance and attack for 2 turns. Soulburn's going to ignore the effect resist. Let's see. After a Soulburn effect has been added, did they just not change this? Was Soulburn supposed to go down here on this one? Because it says the effect of Sandstorm has been changed and a Soulburn effect has been added. So I think that they just messed this one up. Hurricane's Soulburn effect up here probably supposed to go down here onto Sandstorm, which was kind of confusing. But regardless, before attacks all enemies with sand magic, dispelling all buffs, making them unable to be buffed for 2 turns. Now it's going to do all that, but it's going to decrease combat readiness by 30% as well. So that's going to be pretty big. You're going to be dispelling buffs, making him unbuffable, decreasing combat readiness. If you make him real quick and you hit this real quick early on, you're going to be dispelling, pushing them back. That'll probably set you up for like a CR pusher right after him. So you're pushing them back, pushing all of your people forward, and that'll be really solid. That'll be really solid. Actually, really interested to see how he plays out after his buffs. Now, my girl Yufine, and like I said, I could see after they talked about the changes that they were going to do to her, that they were going to run a Yufine banner because these are pretty big. The effect for Dragon's Roars has been changed, and the damage has been increased by 50% compared to before. Not only that, but they reduced the turns that you need for this as well. And you can further get that reduced by 1. So this is on a 3-turn cooldown. So 50% damage increase, 75% chance to silence. Yeah, that is really big. So 3 turns, 75% chance, AoE silence. Not only that, but you can get that up to, what is that, 85% chance? So you get an 85% chance to AoE silence before granting yourself increased attack and speed for 2 turns. Now that's huge right there. And then couple that with her 3rd skill, which they made it so that it dispels all buffs before stunning for 1 turn. So you are going to dispel immunity, stun. If you soul burn, you can immediately take another turn into an AoE Dragon's Roar. So that is going to be really, really huge, especially if you're trying to like lock down one super tanky unit. Although for the most part, the way you usually build Yufine, she's not really leaving too many people there on the table after she uses an S3. But regardless, it's going to be amazing because you're going to be able to soul burn, take one person off of the table, and then just yell at them, do more damage, and silence everybody for 85% chance. So that's going to be just immense. Like, just the change to her S2 is huge, because I've been using her fairly regularly the past couple of days after I built her out. I'm looking forward to throwing some more molas in her, especially her S2 to get those chances up and stuff along those lines. But yeah, no, this is definitely huge. Definitely, if you have her, build her out, because that face, those animations, just beautiful. Aramint, the regular Aramint, while the ML version's getting gutted from what everybody says, this one is going to get this one's going to get buffed up. The damage for Catalyst has been increased by 14% compared to before. So that's pretty much it. They're just increasing the damage on that. The effect of Fire Pillar has been changed. This is going to let's see here. Why didn't you put green here so that I could see what it is that you changed, guys. All attacks all enemies with a massive fire pillar with an 80% chance to burn for 2 turns and a 30% chance to stun for 1 turn before increasing the combat readiness of the caster by 50%. So they are just adding in a 30% chance to stun. So not really the biggest buffs, but not bad at all either. So going to be doing a little bit more damage, going to be having that stun in on the fire pillar. Regular Armand is going to be pretty solid, so they are, for Flash of Light, this is going to be an 85% chance to decrease hit for 2 turns and inflict poison for 3 turns, increase defense of the caster for 2 turns. So this is going to be really big because this is going to inflict poison for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. And the fact that they are trying to make everybody super tanky these days, poison is going to be huge considering it does a percentage based on your hit points. So Armand's going to be getting beefier, going to be inflicting 85% chance to decrease hit and inflict poison. And let's see, you can get that up to 100%. If you go down to +5, you can get that up to 100%, and that is going to be hitting everybody. So that's going to be pretty solid. Not only that, but the effective shield wall has been changed as well. So everything else is going to be the same. However, decreases damage suffered by all allies by 10% when this skill is under cooldown. So that's a flat, there's 10% across the board. Couple that with, let's say, a Sea Armand, something along those lines. Not only are you going to be taking less damage from regular attacks, you're going to be taking less damage from crits, you're going to be blinding people, you're going to be inflicting poison. I can actually see regular Armand being absolute cancer. Just an absolute brutal defensive unit, which I should actually go and level Armand up. But anyways, Otili, the 3-star dark mage here. Now, the effect for area defense has been changed. All allies receive 15% less damage from attacks that target all allies. When this effect is granted more than once, apply only the strongest effect. Now it's going to receive 25% less damage from attacks that target all allies. RIP Cleave meta. This is going to just absolutely wreck pretty much all Cleave teams because, yeah, this is going to be absolute yikes. And this can go up to 30% because you can add another whole 5% to that. So that's literally her just being there, just absolutely just destroys the Cleave meta right there because that's 30% less damage. Add in a regular Armand, and you're going to be doing any AoE attack that you run is going to be doing what, 40% less damage. Yeah, GG on that one. So let's see, the effect for mana release has been changed. This is going to do pretty much the same thing, except this is going to inflict a silence for 2 turns as well. So 25% chance at making the enemy, exhales powerful darkness, decreasing combat readiness by 25% and making the enemy unable to be buffed and inflict silence for 2 turns. That's going to be pretty good as well. And that's on a 4-turn cooldown. So that's a pretty good buff to that one. My boy Gunther right here. This is the dude. This guy is going to be super good. Gunther gang represent. So not only can he not crit, it increases his 50% chance, but he's like, you know what, boys? If I can't crit, you can't crit. This is going to increase his crit hit resistance by 70%. That's awesome. That is insane right there. So not only is he doing just an extra pile of attack, but your boy is just not good. You can't crit him. He's the Teflon Don, man. Crits just bop, slide off of him. Not even a problem. The effect for Tenacious Strike has been changed, and the damage has been increased by 29% when compared before. So not only is he doing just a pile of damage, can't crit, which again, against Moonlight Kens, guess what? Gunther is just like, oh, Moonlight Ken, I'm going to show you who's the best. So he's doing 29% more damage, and this is going to decrease defense for 2 turns. So this is huge. Now, granted, they did take away the damage dealt is increased against bleeding enemies. So really, you know what, bleeding was not really the biggest thing out there. But now he's going to do 29% extra damage, and he's going to decrease defense. So that's going to be a huge buff for your boy Gunther. I am excited for that, Gunther gang. Yuna, now this is great. Perfect timing for the Yuna event. Homing laser's been changed. You're going to still acquire 1 focus. This is going to also increase the combat readiness for all allies except for the caster by 2%. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's speed. So caster's going to get 6% per target. However, now she's going to share a little bit of that combat readiness with everybody, 2%. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Now, it doesn't say 2% per target. So it might just be a flat 2%. Or it could be 2% per target. So we'll see. We'll see on that one. The effective upgrade has been changed, and the cooldown has been decreased. 4 turns, you're gonna get 2 focus, and that's what that is. So you're gonna get more focus, less turns, really good. The effective Meteor Cannon has been changed, so this consumes 5 focus, and then boom, this is always going to crit. So you don't necessarily need to build crit on her. This is just gonna make it crit guaranteed. However, you might want to run crit just for the other parts as well. But this is going to be pretty big, because you can just run massive amounts of crit damage and just bank on getting the focus from the first 2 abilities to just slam down a massive critical damage on the Meteor Cannon. Assassin Kali, who absolutely did not need a buff but is getting one anyways, off of her ambush. This is going to increase the her speed as well. So the effective ambush has been changed, and the damage has been increased by 12%. So she's going to be getting a 12% just flat damage increase here. The damage dealt when using the skill ambush while stealth has also increased by 9%. So that's a 21% chance, 21% increased damage when you are stealth. And it's going to increase your speed for 1 turn. That's ridiculous. That is really, really good. The cooldown for murder has been decreased by 1 turn. So 6 turns, now it's 5 turns. Not bad right there. So yeah, those are pretty solid. Now on to part 3. Oh my goodness, so much stuff. But you know what? If you want to take an intermission break right now, go ahead and pause. Go use the bathroom. I will be right here. I'm gonna get a little bit more awake juice in me. Alright, you back? Fantastic. Let's get on to one of the ones that I'm super, super excited for too. This is Purges. Guns like that, runs like that. Okay, so the effect for Falling Strike has been changed. This is going to be a 35% chance to decrease speed for 2 turns and decrease combat readiness. This is his S1. Damage dealt is proportional to the caster's max health. So on his S1, this just literally mows down enemies with a great sword, makes 35% chance to decrease speed for 2 turns and decrease combat readiness. And he's going to be getting a buff to that damage based on his max health. So that is A+. Effect for Get Was has been changed. Before, hits all enemies when counterattacking with a 20% chance to counterattack when attacked. Now, it's going to do all that, but it's going to have a 15% chance to stun for 1 turn. Also, confirmed that this does stack with the counterattack set. So this is he'll basically have a 50% chance to counterattack when you have him completely maxed out, which is AoE, which has a 35% chance to decrease speed for 2 turns and decrease combat readiness, and damage dealt is proportional to caster's max health, and it has a 50% chance to stun. What? That is that's going to be really, really solid. So then his last one, Final Blow, 4-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies with the powerful ground pound with a 50% chance to stun for 1 turn, increase effect chance by 100% when they have less than 30% health. Damage dealt is proportional to the caster's max health. So if you make this boy extra thick, he's going to be doing more damage. He's going to be counterattacking like a boss. Going to be stunning. Going to be knocking you back. Going to be decreasing speed. Going to be stunning on his S3. Going to be doing more damage. And if you have less than 30% health, that's a 100% chance to stun you for 1 turn. So get ready to see some extra beefy counterattack purges. Already working on it. You know, I'm all about that counterattack game. Crozet, the effect for market protection has changed and the cooldown has been reduced. So 1 turn. Grants increased defense and a barrier to an ally for 2 turns when an attack causes their health to fall below 50%. Barrier strength increases proportional to the target's max health. Can be activated once per turn. So every single turn, Crozet is going to be like, you get a buff. You get defense and a barrier. You get a bubble. You get a bubble. 1 person gets a bubble per turn. Like every turn. And you can increase that barrier strength by 30%. That's gonna be pretty solid. Especially you get the defense, you get the barrier. Crozet's gonna be pretty solid for that. I can see Crozet being a really good Wyvern 11 tank. Just because of the barrier. So that's gonna be A+. Effect for Breakthrough has changed and the skill cooldown has been reduced. So this is going to go from 6 to 5 turns. Attacks all enemies with a Sword Storm with a 75% chance to provoke for 1 turn after decreasing their combat readiness by 50%. Damage dealt is proportional to the caster's defense. So that is a, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So you could add another 15% combat readiness to that. That's really solid. That is really solid. That's a 75% combat readiness. I'm bad at math. 65% combat readiness reduction to all enemies. So just bop. Guess what? 75% chance to provoke, and you're at the back of the bus. Kitty Clarissa, adorable, but the effect for I'm So Cute Nya has been changed. This is going to just give her an extra turn, which is really, really huge right there. You're going to decrease debuff duration. You're going to give yourself immunity, and you're going to get an extra turn. Now, one of the downsides to this is that I'm pretty sure you get the immunity, then you get an extra turn. So it's effectively like 2 turns of immunity because you're going to get an extra turn. But I would much rather have an extra turn than an extra turn of immunity. So that's going to be it for her, but that's going to be really big. That's going to be really huge. So it would be nice if the immunity affected you after your extra turn. So you got the extra turn, then you had 3 turns of immunity, but then that would effectively give you 4 turns of immunity. Regardless, gonna be solid. Octez, decrease the target's skill cooldown by 1 turn whenever using Rapid Cure. This is gonna be really good because you could be like, oh hey, I need the turn cooldown on this character. Boom. Okay, sweet. Now I can use this. That's gonna be really huge. I'm gonna be interested to see some big brain plays with that one. Just big brain. Buffin Kickarat, which is good because he's just coming back. Everybody's like, this is one I did not see coming at all. So auto fire attacks with a Gatling gun with a 65% chance to dispel 1 debuff. Damage increases to the caster's defense. All right. All about that dispel game right there. Effect of defense mode has been changed. This is going to increase the defense of the caster by 7% after attacking. Effect can only... Oh man, if I'm not yawning, I am sneezing. Sorry about that. Increase the defense of the caster by 7%, can only stack up to 5 times. That's really big. That's an extra 5% for like stack 5 times. I mean, that is a pretty solid buff right there. I mean, that's like what, an extra 25% defense if you over 5 turns. That's pretty solid. All right, so cleaning mode has been reduced to 3 turns. Fires indiscriminately at all enemies with a 60% chance to decrease hit chance for 1 turn before triggering counterattacks from the caster for 2 turns. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's defense. So that means that if you're counterattacking off of your S3, that will buff that will get you your defense mode a lot faster. So I can see him being actually a really interesting character to level up. So okay, let's get into the CEs, or the artifacts that are getting some buffs here. Justice for All. The artifact has been changed so it now grants the caster a random buff for 2 turns at the end of the turn. So before it was 1 turn, now they're buffing that to 2 turns. Violet Talisman, holy crap. This is gonna be crazy. This one is super good. I liked this before, but now it's going to be really busted on a lot of characters. So before it was 3% evasion and attack at the beginning of each turn for 10 turns. So if you ramped it up forever, it would be fantastic. Now they're just like, guess what? Increase attack and evasion by 10% at the start of every turn. Each effect can stack up to 3 times. So that means, like, if you got Violet, all right, cool. As soon as he goes, boom, 10% attack and 10% evasion. Uses S2, give yourself an extra turn. You are already 2/3 of the way there. And realistically, yeah, if this works on Arbiter Vildred, you could slap this on Arbiter Vildred, and then he'll come back with 20% evasion and 20% extra attack. That's gonna be super good, because yeah, that's just how that's gonna go. Noble Oath, here we go. As health decreases and defense and effect resist go up to 50%. Now it's just gonna be up to 100%. All right, what? Defense and effect resist increase by up to 100%. That's just gonna literally make people like stupid tanky. Noble Oath on knights is going to be ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And then Alexa's Basket. Alexa's Dust Fodder. Let's talk about this one. So before, 40% chance to grant increased attack and critical hit chance to the caster for 1 turn at the end of the turn. Now it's going to be a 40% chance to grant increased attack greater and critical hit chance to the caster for 1 turn at the start of the turn. This is going to be huge, and this is actually a really good, very viable artifact now. So you have 40% chance to get greater attack at the start of the turn, which is just really solid. Very awesome. Increased mage stats. The speed for certain mage constellations have been increased, and this is going to be pretty solid as well. Right here, Mercedes is going to be getting a buff. Celestial Mercedes, Zerato, Champ Zerato, Aether, C-Dom is going to be getting a buff. Cerelia, Tenebria, Basar, Ludwig, Ludica, Luluca, Jenna, Smyrna Rose, and all Misty Chain and Gloomy Rain. So a lot of these are going to be getting buffs right there. So if you wanted to make super speedy, Ludwig, something like that, Luluca, you're going to be getting a lot more speed on those things. Some pretty excited about some speed changes. This Alexa's Basket is crazy. The Noble Oath is insane as well. Part 4. Moonlight Hero Recall. Now, a bunch of people are going to be like, "Yo, dog, how do I recall my character?" Right here. You recall hero eligible heroes. level 50 or higher Arbiter Vildred Sageball says, Silver Blade Airman, the Crimson Armand. Please note that only the heroes acquired before the recall are available for the hero recall. Now, that's interesting because a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, I'll just save my dupe copy, my level 1 dupe copy." Guess what? You're going to have to get them to level 50. You're going to have to get them to level 50, so no turning in, just level 1 dupe characters. Now you do get your stuff back, but they're going to have to be level 50 or higher. So you're only going to have till the 18th to get these back. So you will get back everything that you spent on them. And this is who you should pick right here. You should be picking Martial Artist Ken because he's going to show you who's the best. So this is going to be pretty good. I'm actually pretty excited for this. I'm going to be trading in my MLR mostly because I didn't really use her for anything. So I would suggest you're going to see a lot of people picking Judge Kisei. You're going to see a lot of people pulling Judge Kisei. They're going to be like, man, guess what, guys? I'm going to do Kisei Cleave. And with a lot of the changes, Kisei Cleave is not going to be as great. Not only that, but like MLCC and ML Ken are pretty much direct counters to Kisei Cleave, especially if they are just getting Judge Kisei and they really don't have the gear for it. So that is who I am going to be picking. So yeah, you're going to be pretty much getting everything. You are going to be getting back unknown slates if you do have stuff into them, which actually pulled a dupe Araminta, and I immediately fed it to my Silver Blade so that I can get back an extra unknown slate. So if you have the 4 stars and you're trading in a 4-star, you are going to get Meteor Shards, which is basically an unknown slate for 4 stars. The monthly check-in reward adjustments have been changed, and a lot of people were tripping out about this, but it's actually really good because you're going to be getting Mystic Marks in here. You're going to be getting the Terra Phantasma, which is just insanely good for me in the first place. People are like, man, but I didn't get the gold transmit stones. You get literally 5 Moonlight bookmarks, and if you were buying a 4 to 5 star ticket, like what? So yeah, no, it is a very big increase over what we have currently. So I am very, very much in favor of this change. We're going to end up getting a lot more stuff overall. UI improvements, battle entry screen improvements, choose difficulty. Players will be first required to choose difficulty for stages that have different difficulty. The screen will not display for the stages that do not have difficulty. I didn't think that it did. A player selects a supporter. A player will proceed to the next stage after selecting a supporter. The selected difficulty particular region. Okay. Select team. Okay. Oh yes, this is the best one. This is the best one. Team name. I cannot wait. This is going to be so good because I hated, especially when I did account reviews, it's like, oh man, what is this team? What is that team? What are these teams? Now you can name these teams like, I hate this team. 3-star artifact team. Yeah. Equipment stat improvements. This is just super huge, super huge. Have you been super salty about flat stats? I sure have. Have you been super salty about rolling a perfect red item and then seeing a flat main stat? I sure have. So let's talk about this one. So, okay. Attack, defense, and health. These are your typical flat stats, right? Well, main stats, substats, all pieces of gear are going to be getting a huge increase. That's main stats on your weapon and your left side gear, as well as flat stats on your right side gear, and flat stats on your substats. Attack 1.67% or times multiplier. Defense 2.5 times. And health 2.25. Now, I originally heard they were going to double up defense and health and 1.67 for attack, but they went even further beyond. So remember how I was talking about how cleave meta was gonna be seeing the outs. Um, you're gonna get basically just free hit points off of your left side items, and flat stats now are actually going to be pretty good on characters who have bad base stats. So percentage wise, since it affects your base stats, you're going to have a lot of characters that are going to just benefit more now from flat stats. This is probably one of the absolute best changes that they could have put into this game. Now there's going to be a much more diverse amount of gear that you can use that's actually going to be good. No longer will you be like, oh, this literally has one flat stat. Trash. Literal garbage. Now you'll be like, everything is Ken's gear. Everything is Ken gear. Oh my god, everything is Ken gear. Awesome. I'm not going to go through all of these adjustments here. Oh my goodness, there's so much stuff. Camping lines for Kickarat has been added. Improvements, journal, automation towers. So much stuff. So much stuff. All right, so what do we got here? Rhaegar's, did we already talk about this? We already did talk about this. This is the side story. Already went through all of that. There's nothing new at the bottom. What is this one? Yufine drop rate. Is there an artifact in here? Yuffie. Negative. What else is there? I believe there was something else that I didn't see on here. Somebody was telling me about a free unequip. Free unequip right here, boys. This is the best. Literally the best. With the changes, you're going to be able to move things around willy-nilly. I just love that whenever they make big changes, they're like, boom, free unequip. Although I wish I would have had that yesterday as I was moving gear around to one-shot Banshee team. So, anyways, guys, there you go. That is a lot. I have been talking probably for like an hour, I'm sure. Hopefully you took breaks. Hopefully you are excited about this as I am. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. How is Smilegate doing, dude? I am absolutely loving almost all of the things that they're throwing in here. Flat stats are going to be retroactive on like everything. It's going to be amazing. Just absolutely amazing. So anyways, guys, I'm going to get done talking. I got some stuff to do. I got some plans to make. Some dogs to walk. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy, homies. Peace.